What, we some kind of suicide squad?
I am Iron Man.
You are a toy!
I live my life a quarter mile at a time.
Server Anakin! I have the high ground!
I'm gonna steal the Declaration of Independence.
I'm simply saying that life finds a way.
Welcome back to the Big Movie Boys podcast, the only podcast coming soon to a theater near you. I'm your host, Jeremy Bauman, and with me as always is Ben Stitch.
What's going on, boys?
And Bob Liebel.
What's up, everybody? This is our first ever fully vaccinated podcast.
Fully vaxcast.
Yeah, yeah. Do you guys just feel so much safer?
Stronger?
Like, yeah, we could all kiss if we wanted to.
Yeah, we
There'd
should
be
have.
nothing wrong with
We
that.
should have when we entered this room.
You feeling good, Bob? I know that second dose will put you down.
Yeah, I'm exactly 24 hours removed from my second dose. I'm feeling pretty shitty, but nothing a couple of bad blues can't cure.
I think they recommend the CDC guideline is 3 to 5 drinks within 24 hours after your second vaccine increases its efficiency.
You're also drinking Gatorade in between sips of Labatt Blue. That can't taste good.
Tastes fucking amazing, actually.
That's
Healthy.
It's the vaccine messing with your taste buds.
Honestly, I might just mix them together. I just pour some beer in my Gatorade.
Prevents a hangover.
That's only facts.
All right, well, we got a bunch of stuff on the docket today, and we're going to start with the tried and true episode 7 of the Mighty Ducks Game Changers. Ben, this is where they just flip the whole show on its head, right? It's just, who could have expected the twists and turns that came this week?
Yeah, this episode was pretty great. A lot of jokes from Nick the Stick, my favorite character, everyone's favorite character. But no, I can't believe I still have 3 more episodes of this show. It would have been better if they just rebooted and did a movie. Because they're doing a weird thing where each episode they kind of choose a different side character to kind of focus on, but don't really go into anything about them. So you're just kind of like, and then they don't bring it up again ever back in the show and like later episodes. So you're kind of just like,
Good storytelling.
this isn't what are we doing? We're just wasting time here. So yeah, but anyways, last week they ended still pissed off at Evan because he had practiced with the Ducks. They're still pissed at him, but guess what? The power goes off at Bombay's rink, so they got to do a little pond hockey.
Not paying the fucking bills.
Not paying the bills.
Gotta bring it back outside.
Liquor money. He doesn't have money for liquor and electricity.
You'll learn in the end he's the one who turns it off because he realizes the game can't just be played inside all the time, guys. You got to be outdoors. It's where you feel the game. You feel every inch of it.
That doesn't make any fucking sense.
Here's what happens, Bob. You're not allowed to legally drink alcohol inside the arena.
Good point.
Outside, there's no open container law in Wisconsin.
Bombay?
Where is this? Minnesota?
Bombay did used to be a lawyer. He's a smart fucking guy, so he must have, found the loophole in that.
When they're you're not gonna remember this, but in the first movie they practice passing with like eggs to kind of get the soft hands or
I do
whatever.
remember that, actually.
In this one, they use their phones. Their most precious
Oh my
things.
god, that is so fucking genius.
Bombay is fucking updating his practice
Jeez,
routines.
how fucking smart is he?
And anyways, there's this one line where Nick the Stick has his phone on the ground and it lights up and it's a picture of Evan. And Evan goes, "Nick, is that a picture of me on your phone?" And he goes, "What?" So fucking funny. Nick the Stick, great character. Evan's still upset with himself now. He takes the C off his jersey and then they all kind of talk to they're like, either we're all captains or no one is. So I'm pretty sure everyone on the team is a captain now.
Sounds like no one is in either scenario.
Yeah, it's pretty weird. Yeah, so like I was saying, they always bring up a random Sam is this week's character that they randomly talk about. He's still upset that Evan left the team. In 45 seconds, they convince him to stay on this team after he was thinking about quitting. He's not going anywhere. Just wasted time, stupid part of the show. But that girl who was in a couple episodes ago, the really good player from the Ducks, she's really pissed. But Evan? Yeah, really pissed at Evan because she's like, understandably so. She's like, you convinced me to leave the Ducks and then you almost go join the Ducks and take my roster spot? That was pretty fucked up. But anyways, Evan tells her she's super special to him. A little flirting going on. Also buys her a knee brace from Target, so they're all set.
That's sexy.
That's literally what happened.
Did they go to the Target?
No, he just goes, "I bought you this knee brace from Target. It was kind of expensive."
That's odd that they had mentioned the store, right?
How much did Target pay for that placement?
Probably $1 million because this show is watched by hundreds of millions.
You've watched it 100 million times?
eventually they end up playing this game. They've only played 4 games in fucking 7 episodes. They're 2-2. They'll probably like speed that along where they'll be like just fucking 7-6 later on. But anyways, there was in the movie, you know how my favorite thing to bitch about the movie is when Charlie's on a breakaway or whatever, shoots the puck down low and then it ends up on high, up high. Jeremy, I think I bring this up every.
It slides into the bottom left corner before they cut and it goes top right.
Yeah, well, similar thing here. The girl is going down to shoot the puck with like 15 seconds left. Clearly a right-handed shooter. They cut to facing her then. She's now a lefty or vice versa, whatever. But clearly a different person. Just a different person.
I'm just confused because, like, why do they even do that? Like, that doesn't seem like a hard thing to catch if anybody on the set has ever actually played hockey or watched hockey.
Yeah, you would just be like, why don't we have the same girl who's just shooting it just be in the same shot?
It doesn't seem
strange.
like a hard thing to catch, and especially if it's something they did in the movies in the 90s that I'm assuming somebody had to have brought up. Hey, remember when we fucked that up?
We
easy
had some
fix.
bad editing. Yeah,
easy fix, right? Why keep it? Maybe just continuity?
Yeah, I guess.
Physics don't work properly?
They don't give a shit. I don't know what they're thinking, but I need to be hired in this role because I'm ready for this all the time. But
hockey coordinator?
But don't tell me you can't just find some dude who plays in a bar league who can just show up, you set up the camera, and he shoots at every possible angle on the net.
Yeah.
And you got coverage for every possible shot.
Yeah, that would make the most sense.
It doesn't seem hard, though. You know what I mean? Like, how do you miss that?
You don't play hockey, Bob, and you can figure it out.
That's what I'm saying. Like, even I could notice that if I was watching.
But yeah,
like, how
it was
can
stupid.
These people not fix that?
Eventually, they end up beating the Hornets. They were playing the Hornets this week. They scored with 1 second left by running Coach Alex's play, Lori Laughlin, or whatever. What is her name? I don't know her real name now. Yeah, okay.
Her real name, it's a simple one.
We all know it.
Everybody knows it.
But anyways, she comes up with this play, like, when they were practicing on the pond earlier, they had everyone, like, blindfolded and they were practicing. No one could do it. They were just falling down the whole time.
And I guess that her play is super ridiculous and, like, overcomplicated and, like, has some sort of, like, element of, like, dance.
It obviously,
or something.
no, there's no dance
or,
about
like, something silly happened.
They are blindfold. They close their eyes. And
get the fuck out.
Yeah, because they practiced it once and they failed at it miserably. So they're like, you know when we should break this out? The game when it's tied with 15 seconds left.
So they practice it blindfolded, and then during the game, she calls the play, and they just all shut their eyes?
They just shut their eyes. The other team's like, what are you doing? Evan wins the draw immediately. Goes
with his eyes closed.
With the eyes closed.
Okay.
He feels it. They're,
okay.
Daredevil.
And then
this makes perfect sense.
They pass it back to the girl. One of the girls,
she sees it coming with her eyes closed.
She just tape to tape, Bob. When you're that good,
Okay.
you don't need to see. Fucking slap her right into the back of the net, eyes shut.
The net that she can't see.
The net that she's not even looking at. And
these kids have amazing.
Holding her stick the right way.
She's holding that. They got right. It was an amazing goal. Don't really know if I believe it. Don't know if I see that happening in real life. But
I would say that's probably impossible.
It was a great ending, and I think I'm hoping for a nice little Coach Bombay, Coach Alex hookup scene coming up. Yeah, I'm ready for that.
They're putting that episode on Hulu.
But yeah, Pornhub.
I'm ready for this one for these 3 episodes to speed by. I'm sick of
oh
doing
my god,
these
you have that
recaps.
many more? Holy fuck. All right.
Was anyone even partially vaccinated when this show started? This has been a long time.
Dude, I don't think
longest running bit in Big Movie Boys history.
Without a doubt.
I don't think I was vaccinated, and I've been fully vaxxed for 2 weeks now, so Jesus.
Oh.
All right, well, speaking of running bits, it is time yet again to fasten up for F9. Boys, how are we feeling?
Shitty.
Oh, God. As much as I don't like doing my recaps, I dislike these ones even more.
Jeremy loves them, though.
We're only one in.
Yeah, just fucking one.
It was so long last week.
Far. Last week's was long because we had nothing else to do. This week's is short because we have other stuff to do and because this movie sucks and barely plays into the rest of the series as it moves forward. I've got like 7 bullet points here. The only things you need to know from this movie. I didn't rewatch it. We start by meeting Tej. That's ludicrous.
I did not know he was in them this early.
He's in Too Fast, Too Furious.
Damn.
He's a mechanic. He also runs like jet ski races. He's from Miami. We're out of LA now. We're in Miami.
Gotcha, okay.
Then we meet Roman, played by Tyrese.
Is his name just Tyrese? What's his last name again?
Tyrese from The Walking... Wait, what?
No.
Who's Tyrese?
If you saw him, you'd know him. I know who you're talking about. I didn't realize he also joined this time. Isn't he like kind of out of the loop now because he bitched about stuff way too much, or am I just making that up? Did I dream that?
Maybe.
Thought he got into something like he wasn't paid enough money.
I'm sure that happened.
He has one name,
He has one. He's credited as Tyrese.
like fucking Prince.
Pretty much. Might as well be. Him and Brian O'Connor, late great Paul Walker. Turns out their childhood friends had a falling out when Brian became a cop.
I mean,
Oh, I wonder
Can
why.
you blame him? We learned that Roman, he got in a bit of trouble with the police, blamed Brian for it, thought he snitched on him.
probably did.
Will we find out? Probably. I don't remember how this movie plays out.
Any spoilers you want to give away right now, Jer?
No, not yet. We'll get
I don't
there.
know who Tyrese is, but the first thing he comes up with when you search him is Too Fast, Too Furious.
He's in Four Brothers too.
Oh, okay. Mark Wahlberg joint.
Is that part of the Fast and Furious
It
cinematic
might as well
universe?
be.
Is Mark Wahlberg in one of these movies?
Not yet.
Holy fuck! Why didn't they make him Dom Toretto? Mark Wahlberg should be like their third brother in the next movie. Okay, so we have another fucking brother.
And he's from Boston.
That's the holy trinity right there: Vin Diesel, John Cena, and Mark Wahlberg.
Dom, were you with Mom when she left me at that fire station in Boston?
Damn, it writes itself. All right, so the conflict in this movie is basically Brian is a cop again. Remember, he gives
Killed people, right?
Yeah, he killed someone, let Vin Diesel get away, whatever. It's all cool. He needs to go undercover again. Not a secret this time. We know from the jump. And he needs another driver. So he gets his buddy Roman, who's got an ankle bracelet on. I think he's under house arrest, but they're like, yeah, you can be an undercover agent. And if you help us, then we'll take the ankle brace off. You'll be free. That's his motivation to get in. And basically they're working undercover for some like Miami drug lord, I think, who needs like getaway drivers to transport drugs and money and stuff. That's the whole plan here. Eva Mendes is in this movie.
Wait, so
I saw that when I googled Tyrese.
Brian O'Connor is in this one then?
Yes.
So just Dom isn't. Vin
They
Diesel's
left
not
Dom
in it?
is not in.
Dom's
Too
not-
Fast.
That's why I don't get
why
why
would Dom be in this movie?
Just am having trouble understanding that part. That's incredible. Did they not watch the first movie and realize he was the star of it?
Guys, if Dom was in the movie, you'd know Dom was in the movie, all right? No Dom, no Letty, no Vince.
Know all the people that I know.
Correct.
Okay.
This is almost
Besides Paul
entirely new
Walker.
people except for Paul Walker.
Okay.
Eva
Nice.
Mendes is an undercover agent as well. She's working with the drug lord guy, and I'm
She's
pretty
deep
sure
undercover.
sleeping with him. Like going too far
So
undercover.
really deep undercover.
I
Good
think
fun.
I think farther
under the
than
covers.
the Call of Duty would allow. I don't know how it works, but
You got to do what you got to do when you're on.
Being
Yeah.
an undercover agent looks fucking awesome. You can kill people, race your car,
I've never-
sleep with your boss.
Every movie I've ever seen where someone's undercover, nothing bad ever happens.
No.
couple scenes worth pointing out. There's a time where the drug lord guy tortures someone by laying the dude down on a table, exposing his stomach, putting a rat on his stomach, putting a bucket over the rat, and then blowtorching like the top of the bucket so
Ooh.
it gets super hot. And the rat, there's only
Just to
one way to get
dig
out.
out, yeah.
Dig his way out through the guy's stomach.
That's honestly
How heavy
smart
is the
thinking.
bucket? Like the rat can't just kick the bucket off the guy?
I think they're like holding the bucket down.
Okay.
Yeah, about
So that's
They thought of
just
that.
got hit with the blowtorch?
Yes.
Okay.
they have gloves on.
That just seems like that seems like a little elaborate if you want to do like a rat.
It is
Like-
incredibly elaborate.
I feel like there's a better way to do it. Just toss him in like a small room with a pissed off rat or something.
That's fucked. I would not like that one.
That sounds
I'd
like
almost
hell.
rather get waterboarded than that.
I think, what do they want? Was it just torturing him for like information? I'd give him anything.
I think they were.
I know. I'd tell them right away.
I think
I could
this.
never be
I think
tortured.
that dude might have been a cop or something. They were trying to get him to like.
Admit it. There's nothing.
No, they were just like trying to get like him to divert the other cops in one area so that they could get away with their shenanigans. in
Jeremy's
wherever
explaining
they
this
were.
like he watched this movie a year ago.
I did watch this movie a year ago. The only other scene that sticks out is at the very end of the movie. Brian and Roman are reunited after whatever bullshit happens. The bad guy and Eva Mendes are escaping on his yacht. So what do they
So
do?
is she bad now, just for real?
No, I think she knows. He knows that she's a cop, and he just like takes her away.
Gotcha.
I guess.
Nice. I know what they do though, Jeremy. They call Ludacris. And Ludacris gets his fucking speedboats out or didn't you say he raced
Jet skis.
jet skis?
Unfortunately, no. Ludacris.
Oh really? Oh, that would make sense.
Not a huge footprint in this movie.
Okay. He's still the rap career then.
That's true.
Yeah. Baby.
They-
He was singing Baby this year.
They're now together in the same car. They kick it into overdrive. I assume hit NOS. I don't remember for sure. Go off a ramp, a strategically placed
There's
ramp
always a ramp on a dock, Jer.
into the yacht. They land the car
Get
on the
fuck
yacht.
out of town.
And then they don't get shot immediately. And then I think they shoot the bad guy again.
They
I
win.
don't know if he dies. Paul Walker shoots a lot of people in these movies.
Sounds a little corrupt.
Casual murder for an undercover cop.
Yeah. But now they're all free again.
What
They're
is
all-
his jurisdiction that he can go from LA to Miami as an undercover cop?
Yep.
I don't think that's how police work is. It works.
No. It does in Fast and Furious world, though. That's everything you need to know about Too Fast, Too Furious. I would not recommend this movie. It kind of sucks. Other than the new Tej and Roman characters,
You don't really need
you
it.
don't really need anything else in this movie. If it turns out later that I forgot something, I'll bring it up again. But
So Brian is still a cop in the second one. I thought he would have bounced already.
still very much a cop. And
He doesn't stay a cop though, right?
they just let
Maybe,
him.
well,
dude. I might fucking.
Well,
When
yeah,
you can do
we'll get
whatever
to
you
it.
want.
That's true. I might stay a cop.
This job's got a lot of perks, Bob. But yeah, that's it for Fast Enough for F9. Are you guys more excited now for F9 than you were last week?
I honestly do feel like after we're done with this, I could watch F9 and not have to watch any other ones.
That's what I'm hoping for.
This wasn't as thorough as the other one, obviously, because we're a little crunched on time, but I still feel like I know what happened.
Not
in the
worth
movie.
recapping either.
Right, yeah.
And I'll say it again. Once we get to Fast and Furious 4 moving forward, I highly recommend you watch them. The recaps will not do it justice.
So what's next then? We got Tokyo Drift next, and
Tokyo
then,
Drift is next week.
and then 4.
Yep.
I didn't
I
know
was-
if they just
I
slipped in a
always thought
third one.
Tokyo
Then.
Drift was the second one, but then I realized Too Fast, Too Furious is way too easy to pass up as an awesome title.
And they sing Too Fast, Too Furious in the first movie. A little foreshadowing.
Is
They
Ludacris sing that
sing
song?
it. They sing
There's
it.
a song, yeah, Too Fast, Too Furious. I think it's Ja Rule.
Oh yeah, you did mention Ja Rule last
Yeah.
week, I believe.
He's a good guy.
Yeah. He's never scammed anyone out of anything. All right, boys, that's enough Fast and Furious for this week. There's plenty more to come, though. If
Can't
you're
wait.
if you're itching for more, let's talk about some other stuff that came up in the news. Who wants to bring their item to the table first?
Mine's the most important, so I guess I should start. Assuming, right? Yeah, I don't know if you guys live under a rock, but this week, or not this week, on May 1st, Rush Hour 1, 2, and 3 just got put on streaming service. HBO Max now has the Holy Trinity. How do you feel about
Bob,
it?
your birthday is in December, but it came a little early this year.
It might have been May 1st from now on. I'm very excited just because I can now watch them whenever I want. I'm happy for you because now you can watch them. But I'm also a little sad because it takes away like the glory of watching it on TV.
Yeah, the old watch the first while you pregame, miss the second one, come back hammered, and watch the third one.
But that's a classic.
You
for
can
me.
do that on your own, Bob.
That's true, but that would be lethal. But I think like Rush Hour for me is a classic TV movie. I think of like movies that if it's on TV, I'm watching it no matter what. Rush Hour, any of them. The Shawshank Redemption. I don't think I've ever seen it anywhere but
Yeah,
on TV.
knowing you like can't watch it, it's like that little flirtatious. You can't always have it,
I was
so
like,
you
well,
want
when
it.
the fuck am I going to watch this? I
But
gotta
now that you can have it all the
Next
time,
week.
yeah, yeah, right. I can watch it whenever I want. But when are you going to watch them, Jeremy?
Sooner
Pencil it in.
than later. We watched the Lord of the Rings trilogy 3 weeks in a row.
This one's better.
There's a chance we watched the Rush Hour trilogy 3 weeks in a row.
oh, that'd be probably our best decision yet.
It's probably the thing that we've talked about the most on this podcast. We've never actually.
That or Mark Wahlberg. So
We cover him here and there.
We've talked about him plenty. Yeah, I noticed that they were on streaming services. I didn't, get out of my seat, run and turn on HBO Max to start the trilogy right away, but I will certainly watch them before they leave HBO Max.
When would they leave? I'm not happy about that.
Well, they usually
They
rotate
better,
stuff in
they
and
better
out.
call me. We're taking it off.
yeah, I'd like an extended warning on that one. But yeah, I have probably watched the third one. I'm gonna pull a Bob here. I've probably watched the third one at least 50 times.
That's the shittiest. That one, I actually don't really enjoy that one.
I love that one so much. I've probably seen the first and the second one combined maybe like 4 times. So I'm excited to go rewatch those ones.
That's odd, Ben. Jeremy, I'll let you know. The first one's actually like pretty deep. The second one, also kind of a masterpiece. The third one is the one that like I actually like.
Don't you find that the third one's on TV the most?
The third one definitely is on TV the most. I used to watch that on the bus all the time going to track meets. I've seen Rush Hour 3, not actually watching it. It's been playing in the same room as me probably 2,000.
That checks out.
The same room as you.
You've been in the same state as somebody watching that movie.
Rush Hour 3 is whack, though. I hope to God we can get Rush Hour 4 one day.
Yeah, the people are asking.
I will
for it.
Google that like probably once every 2 weeks. I'm like Rush Hour 4 20. See if it's in development. Occasionally, there'll be like somebody that writes an article about it. Like Jackie Chan and Chris Tucker were fucking
out to dinner.
Yeah,
Captured eating dinner together.
They drove by each other in traffic the other day. We're getting Rush Hour 4. Although if we ever watch Rush Hour together, you know how I always freak out when they say the name of the movie in the movie? I'll fucking chug a pint of liquor when they say Rush Hour in Rush Hour.
I don't even. They do that in the first one.
Yeah, they do.
Wow,
Oh,
did
yeah.
not know that.
My blood's boiling right now.
I don't even know what these movies are about.
They actually have nothing to do with Rush Hour.
I was wondering if there was going to be like Fast and Furious overlap.
No.
Like, is there a lot of car driving?
The main premise is that he's Chinese and he's black. Honestly, that's really what it's about.
Dude, in the third one, that's what it is about.
Yeah.
It's
That's what most of the dialogue is about.
they're so fucking funny together.
There's some
Though.
kung
Chris
fu,
Tucker
and there's
is
some good
so
action scenes.
great in these movies.
I love to say he's only been in 4 movies since whenever Rush Hour came out, 1995.
Friday and
99.
Rush Hour.
No, he had Friday, then he did Rush Hour 1, 2, and 3. That was it for 20
And he
years.
made like $50 million.
And then it was in Silver Linings Playbook a few
Oh,
years
yeah,
ago.
that's right.
That's all he's been in. He's still famous. And my favorite
As he
actor.
should be. Lee!
Ben, what of your favorite trilogies is now streaming?
None of my favorite trilogies probably. My news topics is not my favorite trilogy of all time coming to HBO Max. Mine is season 4 trailer of Stranger Things, just coming out. I am probably not as excited about this as I want to be, but maybe that's because I was so hyped about like season 3 and it kind of let me down a little bit. But
What? Season 3 is my favorite season.
season 1 is still always mine, but it kind of felt like it was going to end, and then they didn't end it. Basically, I'm upset Hopper's still alive, and that's going to bother me. But other than that, everything looks cool. The trailer gets me excited. It's just like I don't want to have my expectations too high for this show.
I found Stranger Things is like honestly so popular, and when I look at Stranger Things, I think of like Rick and Morty, where I'm like, everybody likes this show, but it takes so long in between seasons that like I feel like they lose people. And also, it's so popular. You know, like whenever something's super popular, like people start to like hate it.
Yeah,
Like that's just how like with sports teams, especially like whenever teams really
Stranger
good.
Things is definitely that.
Yeah, that's what it feels like. Because like I was just reading through like comments and stuff on Twitter about like when they released the trailer, and I saw a lot of people like bagging on it, like, oh, they're still making this show, and I was like, what? Is this not good anymore? Like
when it first
I
came to
was in
Netflix, it was probably like it's probably one of the top 3 OG Netflix shows that people.
Oh,
think
absolutely.
about.
Easily.
yeah,
Yeah, I don't. Watching the teaser, I was like, I liked it a lot, but I also felt like I wasn't as excited as I expected myself to be. I'm guessing that's strictly based on the length of time between season 3, and we don't even know when season 4 is coming out. We just know it's at least close enough that they're teasing it. But I'm sure as soon as it comes out and I start watching it again, I'll be sucked right back in.
And they're kind of strategic with their dates. Like I remember season 2 coming out around Halloween, and then with season 3 in like July
4th of
4th. So
July,
I
yeah.
don't know if they have something maybe like Christmas. I don't know what they're planning for this.
I don't know. My other thing is I've done this for each of the seasons, like because it takes so long between. Like I'll watch season 1, then when season 2 came out, I was like, I don't even fucking remember season 1, so I'll rewatch season 1.
That's what I was
Rewatched
thinking.
1 and 2 before 3, but now I'm just like, I'm not gonna watch 3 fucking seasons like that. Like that kind of
That's
does.
tough, yeah.
Yeah, but like I feel like I do because I barely remember.
I may
what
rewatch
happened.
season 3 in preparation of this one, but I don't think I'll go back. If anything, I don't think I'll ever watch season 2 again. Season 1 is like I could see myself going back to that one to remind myself why I do really like this show, and maybe I'll. You know what I do when a show like this is coming back out? I watch the finale, no matter what. I'm going to watch the
Good idea.
season 3 finale before that.
I have an interesting thing. Like, you know how like they obviously look so much older. You notice like in this, it's like 11. I'm assuming that's gonna be like a younger actress playing 11, like in these flashbacks.
Oh yeah, I gotta
because
think
she
so.
doesn't.
Unless they de-age
That's what
them
I'm saying,
like
like,
in your coronavirus movie.
Are they gonna do something like that, or is it just gonna be
Digitally
like?
de-age a 15-year-old, however old she
But
is.
isn't that crazy that we're even talking about that? Like, I just feel like that she's looks so different. All of them look so different from when it first started. And if they're doing flashbacks to when she was in the lab, like they're either
They
gonna just
got
not
it,
show
yeah.
her face, or like how do you do that? You know, it's weird because these kids are getting so old because they're taking fucking 3 years between each season.
They're
They're like-
actually like famous actors now.
I'm pretty sure that one or
They're in Ghostbusters now.
Caleb McLaughlin or whatever. I forgot.
Concrete
He-
Cowboy.
He's like 20 years old.
Yeah, he's old as shit.
Yeah.
He's older than us.
And I'm like, I'm pretty sure all of them are over like 17, and most of them are like 18. or
They're
19.
drinking
Yeah, they
legally.
Yeah, or I can't wait for it though. Very excited.
I am excited. I didn't quite feel that spark that I was expecting with one of, I would say, one of my all-time favorites. I'm not going to call it a top 10er necessarily, but I always get excited when it comes back.
Yeah, I agree.
But I didn't quite have that spark, but like I said, as soon as I jump back into it, if I do rewatch the first season, I know myself, I'm going to rewatch the second and third season, which is why I don't even want to restart it. But
That's a slippery slope. That's a lot of time right there.
They kind of take a while to watch too.
Yeah,
hour-long episode.
They're pretty
10?
dense.
Yeah.
12, I think. Maybe in the later seasons they were less, but first one they were definitely 12.
This is also one of the few Netflix shows, at least with the last season. I'm trying to remember if the first two seasons had it, where they did also like a companion behind the scenes like series as well. There's a few episodes of like interviews with the creators and stuff like that. So I always like when shows do that. Anyway, my news topic actually snuck in a bonus topic here. First one being Bo Burnham is back in a big way, teasing his new comedy special that he completely made by himself during quarantine, I guess. Pretty excited about that. Last new Bo Burnham content was June 3rd, 2016.
That was 5 years ago. Wow, that's
Last
crazy.
comedy special. He did make a movie.
No,
in between,
yeah,
but-
we love 8th grade here. But I'm kind of excited about this because I think after I watched 8th grade, I was like, you know what? Wow, he made a great movie. I've kind of disrespected his comedy in the past. I kind of made fun of Jeremy for liking his specials. I was like, I'm going to watch him. So I think I'm still holding on to that. That was like 3 years ago, I think we watched that movie, maybe 4. That was a while ago.
2018 sounds right.
Okay, yeah. And so I'm excited for this. I will watch this, and I think I have the right expectations going in because I like his movie, but I don't love his stand-ups really. But I'm still excited to watch this.
I couldn't care less. Like, I'm not, like, I've seen a lot of, not a lot, but I've seen enough Bo Burnham to have formulated my opinion on him. And I mean, I think he's funny. Like, I don't mind watching his stuff. I wouldn't seek it out. Maybe if it was like a Friday night and I was looking for a comedy special to watch, and this, maybe not this, because I think this is going to be more like intimate, maybe like less, I don't know, more serious in a way. But like one of his other specials, say he came out with like a normal one, I would probably watch it. Like, I don't dislike Bo Burnham, but like I don't get amped when his new specials come out.
You hate Bo Burnham. Just be strong
No,
with your opinion.
I definitely don't hate. I'm just
Voice your real
Say it
opinion.
with your chest, Bo.
I'm impartial on Bo Burnham. I think he's funny sometimes, but he's not like the greatest guy in the world.
He's no Louis C.K.
My Twitter timeline was blowing up when this tweet went out.
Apparently he's super popular because I saw that as well.
Yeah, I didn't realize that either. People
yeah, it was
love
like
Bo
trending
Burnham.
worldwide. Like I saw Bo Burnham was like, but I don't know.
I thought he died for a second.
Me too. But it's kind of cool that he filmed it all during quarantine by himself. I'm a big fan of that. I wonder if more stuff like that's gonna come out from like.
I mean, did he come out with a podcast during quarantine though?
That's true. What's cooler, actually, Bo? If you're listening, if that is your real name, there's no way his name is fucking Bo. What's Bo short for?
I think it might be short, yeah, for Robert.
Get the fuck out! I could go by
It
Bo.
might be.
We should start calling you Bo Liebel.
Hey, Bo.
Well,
That's
Bo,
fucking-
did you watch the Marvel Studios Celebrates the Movies? My real news topic for the week.
I did, and I didn't know how to react to that because I didn't know what it was.
I'll tell you in a second how I reacted to it, but I know it was good because one, Ben Stitch, he couldn't even hold it in. He's like, I can't bullshit. I got pumped over this. And when I read that message, I was like, yeah, that's how
It's weird because I
impactful
didn't
this
get
is.
pumped. This is why I said I had a weird
That is
reaction to
weird.
it. I didn't know. I thought we knew all that already. The release dates.
A
I was like,
couple,
all that stuff's coming out.
couple
Yeah.
new release dates, couple new movie titles. First ever look at the Eternals.
Yeah, I knew it was different, but I was watching it. I was like, I thought we knew all that. And then I realized when I was also reading through comments, everyone was freaking out about the release dates and stuff. And I was like, oh, we didn't know that. Okay, makes sense. It was really cool though.
Yeah, my thinking was more so, I'm just so impressed how, like, I don't love these movies, and I never will.
But they're gearing up.
But like
for
the
another
fact
run.
that they're like ready for like they know what's gonna happen for 30 years is like
Yeah.
pretty fucking impressive.
They're gearing up for another phase. Like,
and
it's
then
crazy.
and Jeremy's just gonna like take a mortgage out on his parents' house and just to watch these movies more and more times. It's pretty remarkable. My brother right now is currently he's like me. He's watched like movies here and there, probably like 50% of them. He's rewatching all of them right now. And I'm not saying I'm going that far, but it does like tempt me to like dig into this world like a little more, or universe, I should say, a little more.
It's unbelievable.
The amount of hype based on this trailer. This trailer dropped at 9 a.m. Monday morning. I saw it at 10 a.m. Monday morning. I have never been that awake at 10 a.m. on Monday morning in my entire goddamn life. That was the end of my workday. I could not focus on anything for the rest of the day. I think I watched it 5 times that day alone. I've watched it at least 5 times since. I get chills every single time they cut to the theater shot of people reacting to
sweet.
the Avengers Assemble moment.
I don't know. I was mad about that because I've seen better things on Twitter of like the reactions of people in theaters. Like, how could Marvel not get a better one? That wasn't as cool. I saw people lose their fucking minds on Twitter of like reaction shit. Even when we were in the theater, I don't know. Remember what I said? I was like, "Can he do that?" I think that's exactly what I said. I was like, "Can he do that?"
Is this allowed?
Yeah, I was very confused at what I was watching. I was like, "This is fucking nuts."
And then, so it's got the Stan Lee voiceover. You go through the greatest hits of like the first 3 phases of MCU. Then it goes into the new stuff, and you get I think it's called the Marvel Fanfare, which is like the theme that plays over the Marvel Studios logo before everything. But then it turns into a full song. They got a new song for this trailer where they just extend that Marvel Fanfare thing, and then once the titles start popping up faster and faster, and the music just gets more and more epic, and then we get Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, new title drop. The Marvels new title drop and dates for both of those, and then they tease for like the 10th time, it feels like, Fantastic Four at the end. No title or date for that one, but
Where was Blade?
I think that's even after
That's way far in the
Fantastic
Like
Four.
6
Yeah.
years.
what I'm excited for.
Well, you got plenty to hold you over
Fantastic
until
Four.
then.
Can't wait for that. They've been teasing Fantastic Four for a minute. I don't know why they don't just fucking come out. You know what's gonna be crazy? They're gonna have an arena full of people when they announce who's playing the.
Probably. Have you ever watched the F9 first trailer announcement thing? They had
No, I can't say that I have, Jeremy.
They had like an outdoor concert venue full of people watching the trailer for the first time with all the actors there, just like shooting the shit.
Wow, I underestimate how stupid society is.
And they could easily pack a football stadium full of people just to watch a Fantastic Four trailer.
We would go.
The casting
would go.
release for that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that'd be crazy.
Dude, this video, I was literally Googling like how to make a video your alarm clock. Like this thing could change my life potentially. Like I said, I've never felt more energized after. It was
Pretty sad.
pretty awesome.
Maybe we should watch it right now.
I did watch it
We
twice today in preparation for this podcast. So. All right, well, that'll do it for the news. We'll have plenty more Marvel news to come, I'm sure. But boys, it is the 50th episode. I probably should have said that at the top. Kind of forgot until right now, if I'm being honest.
I had no fucking idea
Me
either.
too. 50?
50, that's
You sure?
why we're celebrating.
Dude,
Ben.
we've done 50 fucking episodes, released episodes. That means we've done more than that. Holy shit.
Exactly.
If you had asked me last week, or even if you asked me in like 2 weeks, how many episodes of this podcast have we done? I won't be able to tell you.
Like 35.
Yeah.
That sounds about right.
81.
I
But
really don't know.
in order to celebrate this insane milestone of 50 episodes, we're finally reviewing a movie that we've talked about here and there, but now we're giving it the time that it deserves. National Treasure. We're finally reviewing it. We've mentioned it before. If you're unfamiliar, National Treasure released on November 19th, 2004, directed by John Turteltaub, written by Jim Kauf, who also wrote
Rush Hour. That you?
Yes.
Okay.
I thought you were looking at the screen.
My next guess is Lord of the Rings.
As well as Cormac and Marianne Wibberley. Movie stars National Treasure, Nicolas Cage, Diane Kruger, Justin Bartha, Sean Bean, John Voight, and the late, great Christopher Plummer. Boys, this was a treat going back to this one. It's been a while since I've watched this, and I enjoyed every moment of it. Just, is there anything better than National Treasure? We're going full spoilers, by the way,
Yeah.
because everyone's already seen it.
Unless you're a fucking idiot, and if you've never seen National Treasure, don't listen to this podcast. Is this the most enjoyable movie of all time?
That's it. That's
in
a
the
good question.
sense that you can watch
Yeah.
it no matter what mood you're in. You're never like
Talk
everybody
about a movie
likes
that's
it.
on TV, you're dropping what you're doing and
Yeah.
watching.
But
It's,
like,
it's
watch
really
it all
a
the
fun
time.
watch. And you know, this was the first time I was ever like, this might be
Oscar worthy.
a top 5 heist movie of all time. This is
Yeah.
a seriously underrated heist movie. I
Yeah.
don't know why it's not brought up like that.
You
This,
forget how much of the movie is dedicated to stealing the Declaration
it's,
of
it's
Independence.
a big chunk of the movie, and
Yeah.
it's incredible. And I was on my phone a little bit while I was watching this movie because I try to watch this movie at least 1-2 times a week, so I didn't really need to pay too much attention to it. But like when he's about to say, "All right, I'm going to steal the Declaration of Independence," I perked up and I was like, I got to rewind that and watch
Great
that
line.
again.
Honestly, one of the best lines in cinematic
I
history.
pop more for that than when they say National Treasure.
Yeah.
I don't even know if they say National Treasure directly in the movie.
No, I
but-
took a
They
big
might
shot of
not.
liquor though when they said, "I'm going to steal the Declaration of
I
Independence."
paused it, went to the bar, came back, finished the movie a couple hours later.
Yeah, this is just a movie that I love watching every single time. It never gets old to me.
Exactly.
I feel like I don't necessarily like catch new stuff. I don't think it's so dense that there's like, jokes or subtext that I'm necessarily not picking up on each watch, but there's stuff you forget about and then it refreshes it. Underrated as far as comedy goes as well. There's moments I genuinely laugh in this movie.
Yeah, you're talking about when Riley's eating pizza and John Voight's like, "You're with this fucking guy," and he's like, "What?" great line reading there. Joe, you're talking about things that you missed. I didn't realize. I thought this movie was about an hour and a half, so I was very pleased when I popped up and it said 2 hours 11 minutes.
Yeah, I
That's
forgot
how
about
long
that
it
as
is?
well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Roller-
such a fun
It's a
watch
roller
that you don't
coaster.
know, dude. Immediately, I was like, huh. Christopher Plummer, forgot he was in this movie. He's in the first big scene, and they're talking about their family, and this treasure has been within this family. Like the hunt for it has been in the family for 6 generations. They haven't gotten past the first fucking clue, dude. It pissed me off so much.
That's why I love the one scene when they go back to John Voight's house and he's all pissed off. He's the one who's finally like, I figured it out. There is no treasure. It was all a ruse to keep the British occupied. And then Nicolas Cage is like, Dad, I found the Charlotte. And he's like, holy
Comes in his
fuck.
pants.
And he's so fucking excited.
It was a ship?
Who was there?
Yeah, Dad. And she was beautiful. And then immediately he goes back to just like, well, there's no more clues. Or there's only clues. I haven't really decided yet.
It's like,
It's like
then there'll be
180.
another clue, and then the next clue. He's just pissed he didn't
how do
fucking
you
find his
know?
Charlotte.
6 generations haven't found a single clue. I found one. How did you come to that
Well, he finds
conclusion?
4 in one fucking movie. So,
He finds the damn treasure
yeah.
in like a week.
But at that pace, you would think this treasure's not being found for about 3,000 more years.
Well, luckily the Freemasons carved their logo into a couple of the clues, so that makes it a little bit
How
easier.
the fuck did nobody accidentally find this thing? Is what I want.
yeah, they didn't go through this grave. I always get pissed that they could have just went through the grave the other way and found
They
it.
go through the one grave, and then they come out the other one. It's like, why not just go through that one and then not fall to your death like Shaw?
Yeah, when Shaw dies, I think that
Rest in
might
peace
be
to Shaw.
when I watched this
A real one.
when I when I watched this in the theater at 8 years old, I was devastated
Yeah.
watching that. I was like, this is how I'm fearful of dying. I thought there was going to be many more situations where I'm going to be climbing on sketchy ladders like this and have a chance of falling to
Bro,
my death.
If you didn't cry when Shaw died,
They
who
say
the fuck are you? Like,
I don't even know. What is Sean Bean's name in this movie again?
Ian.
Yes,
Ian,
yeah,
because
yeah.
they say Shaw about 100,000 times in this movie that I was like, wait, is Sean Bean's name Shaw? I don't fucking know.
Shaw
Are they
Bean.
saying Sean? Yeah, his name is Ian Howe, and the only reason I even remember that is because halfway through the movie they just start calling him Howe. I'm like, who the hell are they talking
Is that true?
about?
That's gonna be one of the things I pick up next time I watch this. What the fuck?
You probably caught it, but you're like, I don't even know who the hell they're talking about. Like, who's this new character? Oh my god. The other thing that, like, I genuinely think this movie is good.
No,
I
it's
do
a good
too.
movie.
Like,
I'm not joking.
I enjoyed this movie.
I do joke about how much I like this movie, but genuinely, I think it's a good movie. I think the directing's good. I think the cinematography's good. That first cut when it goes from young Ben and he's being knighted because he thinks he's a knight for some god.
That was weird.
I was like, Christopher Plummer, why weren't you
He's
like,
not even British.
did you even listen to my goddamn story? How did you come to that conclusion?
Yeah.
But when he lifts his head and then it cuts
And
to
then
modern day Nick Cage lifting his head in that snowmobile that doesn't
Pristine.
exist. That's the first time I pop in this movie. I'm like,
Yeah, you just
hell yeah. But the thing that is most underrated in this movie by far is the music. One of the
Dude,
greatest soundtracks
Yeah.
of any movie
Very
ever.
good.
The score, they come back to it a lot in this movie, and it's fucking great every time. I just feel like I'm about to join the military or
Steal the Declaration of Independence.
Steal-
Yes.
If how do you go to, I don't even know who did the music in this movie. I should figure it out. How do you go to someone and you're like, all right, we need a score for this movie. It needs to be 50% America, 50% heist. And this dude just nailed it.
Can we look up who did it? Because I have a feeling it's somebody famous.
every time I hear that music play, I feel like I'm at Mount Rushmore, which is a great for the second movie. But don't watch the second one as much. That one's not as fun.
Trevor Rabin, I've seen this guy's name before. I don't know what else he's done though.
Doesn't matter.
Wow. He had to have gotten more work from this.
I hope so. Like, and I noticed like when they're in the treasure room and there's the
Big reveal.
yeah, the flames start lighting everything up and the orchestra just gets louder
That's
and louder.
fantastic.
I noticed what makes it American is that the lone bugle that just kicks in. I'm like, that's
Somebody's
what
playing taps in the background.
that's what does it.
Yo, they trick me every time in this movie when they break through. You're like, this is it. This is the fucking treasure. And I'm like, God damn it. Where's
Where's the damn treasure?
And then they're like, well, we got to leave through this door. And you're like, holy shit, there it is.
Could it really be that simple?
Delivery.
The secret lies with Charlotte.
Why the fuck does he have that with him?
Ian gave it back to him.
Yeah.
Bob. This
Shaw gave it back to him.
Yeah.
Shaw was falling to his death and threw it back up to Ian, and then Ian gave it to him.
I'm just
later.
confused how they had a pit so deep that Shaw could die to his death underneath the church and nobody knew about it. No one's like, hey, let's investigate. It's like, I'm walking over to this floorboard. It sounds like super hollow below me. Like, can we like take a look?
Well, one of the things that I caught this time that was one of my only criticisms of this movie, I was like, you're telling me that they have this thing below a church in New York City underground and they never found it when that entire city underground is all dug up for subways?
Wait, don't they explain it away, don't they? What do they say?
They're down there, everything starts shaking, and they're like, what is that? And they're like, it's a subway. So there are
They're
subways.
near. They just
They're
missed it.
nearby, but they just missed it.
Yeah. That would have been
Shaw
big.
got smoked by a subway, dude. He just fell onto the
Shaw's
tracks
still
of the fucking one
falling,
train.
dude. I'm sorry. He is not falling yet.
He just landed on the track somewhere. And just
Every time I
dead.
watch this movie, I'm like, Shaw, don't take that step. But he does. Every
That's
time.
such a great scene when you're worried about them catching
Shaw.
that Declaration of Independence with Nick Cage just riding on that swing, dude. It's always so fucking intense.
And
Every
when
time I think it's
when
gonna fall.
he drops Diane Kruger, and you're like, oh my god, did he just choose the Declaration over her? But there's a thing under her, so she's good.
You
Yeah,
trust
that's
me?
good fun.
Do you trust me?
Do it. Save
She
the
doesn't even
Declaration.
answer, does she?
She doesn't give
She's
a
just
fuck
like-
about her life. She wants that Declaration saved.
And I kind of felt like her introduction as to why she wanted to stick around was a little.
Shitty.
Little weak. She probably
Little
should have
weak.
returned it.
But
Or just
this
call the
time
cops.
around, I'm like, it makes sense though. If your job is like protecting like some of the most important documents in American history, and you see these two guys stealing it, and your choices are let them go away, and you don't know where they are, or go with them since you don't really consider them dangerous. I'm like, okay, I
I
can buy it.
agree.
also-
She has ample opportunity to leave and take the Declaration.
Well, yeah, later on, but she's already converted. She did the
Yeah,
switch. She
yeah.
doesn't know which side of the law she wants to. You know, it's very much a Brian O'Connor situation.
I think it's supposed to be played like that Nick Cage is so charming that she's just like, I'll stick around a
so
while.
fucking sexy. How'd
Yeah.
you, Paul Brown? I don't
But-
care what your name is. I'm leaving with you.
But, you know, sometimes it doesn't come off that way. It just comes off that Nick Cage is the biggest alpha male in America. And,
He's not even acting.
yeah, he's not even acting.
I love when they call him Paul Brown, though. I'm like, yeah, that should be your name. You look more like a Paul Brown
He's
than
not
a
a
Nick Cage.
Benjamin Franklin Gates either.
Oh, yeah.
I love that. I'm going to name my son Benjamin Franklin.
Gates.
Bo Franklin Gates Level. Oh, man. There's a National Treasure 3 coming out, right?
No, it's a
Uh,
show, I think.
They're doing
Or-
both,
oh.
supposedly.
Some dumbass kids, right?
Yeah, there's gonna be a Disney Plus show.
You know,
and
I'll
then-
recap that.
You know, Nick Cage is gonna yell at those kids on set, probably.
Oh, I hope
pretty
so.
badly.
Is he in it?
I think he's in. I think they said he's in it briefly.
How the fuck
like,
could you not have
he's-
Benjamin Franklin?
Well, it's like
Gates
Gordon
in your-
Bombay and the Mighty Ducks. You
True.
do need
You gotta
him.
throw his ass in there. I imagine Nick Cage looks like shit these days.
He's been in movies recently. Like,
I don't know, man. Throwing him.
The last time I
Nick
feel
Cage
like
running
I
around
heard.
with the Declaration strapped to his back has got to look bad.
Last time I heard of him, he was doing the fucking invention of swear words or whatever on Netflix.
That was
whatever
good.
that was.
I watched that. That was good. No better person for it.
the one only other criticism I've had of this movie is that they very explicitly state that the Declaration of Independence rather is a super fragile, super old document. Yet they just throw that thing
No.
around. They roll it up as fast as they can in an elevator, and that thing isn't confetti at the end of the day.
They throw it in the GD oven, don't they?
No, they.
No, they want to.
What they put
Yeah,
lemon juice on
he
it or
fell
something?
asleep, and they use
Yeah.
a hairdryer or whatever
Yeah, that's
In John Voight's fridge that is just filled to the brim
with
with lemons.
He has so many fucking lemons. He ordered pizza for dinner. He lives in a mansion, ordered pizza for dinner, but has thousands of lemons in his fucking house. Yeah, tough look there for John Voight. Also, what was I gonna say? Jeremy, you're forgetting that he puts it in the most indestructible. He bought online. He goes on eBay. What to buy to hold the Declaration of Independence? He finds two. He finds the two strongest little capsules ever invented.
Declaration of Independence size Kevlar bulletproof case with a strap.
With a fucking sweet strap.
Yeah.
I think if I could purchase any movie prop that's ever existed,
Holy
Dude,
fuck.
how awesome would it be to drink out of that fucking shit?
Oh shit.
I would buy the case that Benjamin Franklin Gates carries the Declaration of Independence. I'm gonna look on eBay. See
Yeah,
if-
Dude,
some
that's gotta be
fucks-
out there.
No, Nick Cage got that in his private collection. Are you kidding me? All the other great props.
Nick Cage, if you're listening, I will buy it from you.
Do you think the thing that ages this movie the most is the fact that they're hung up that he used a credit card to buy the fake declaration when she's like, we take Visa? It's like, did he not realize that he could be paying for that? Or was he just that afraid of using the card? He didn't want it tracked. They were going to find him in 2 seconds.
I think if he paid cash, he probably would have had a few more days.
He didn't have
Oh, you
enough
think
cash
so?
though.
They wouldn't have
Yeah,
known who. They wouldn't have went to his
$35.
apartment right away. He would have been able to go to his apartment. They would have been able to look at the document because he had all that shit. Remember, they go
He
back to
does
his
have a
apartment.
couple. All right,
He's
you
like, why
got
does
me.
this psychopath have
Lemons.
That's
Just
one, of,
fucking-
that's one of my favorite scenes because the FBI guy who's like running the whole
Harvey
thing,
Keitel, yeah.
he runs through the list of Nick Cage's accolades that all like. If you have any question in this movie, it's like, well, how would Nick Cage be able to do this? He listed out for you. This dude's like a historian.
We're
He's
MIT, right? Yeah.
He's like a biochemical engineer. He's got a scuba
I don't
diving.
know. I don't think who's. I guess we're supposed to believe that Sean Bean, aka Ian Howe, is paying him to do this. Because otherwise, you're like, what's he doing for money? Is he just tracking this treasure since he was 8 years old?
Yeah, I don't. He's got enough qualifications that he might teach scuba diving on weekends or something.
He's like a college professor. I'm assuming he has some type of money. He's independently wealthy.
I mean,
probably.
if this
Look at
movie,
his dad lived.
they probably would have made him a college professor, but then it would have been a blatant ripoff of Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
Because I will say, National Treasure is one of the best Indiana Jones movies.
It's definitely better than the fourth Indiana Jones movie.
It's better than the fourth and the second by a long shot.
Speaking of that scuba diving, it's made me. Every time I watch this, I want that machine where they're just flying underwater with that. I don't even know
The
what you would call
propeller
that
thing that they
torpedo
hold-
thing.
yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, they go across. Is that the Hudson River?
Yeah.
Which is one of the most polluted rivers in the entire world. Also, you'd be dead if you ever went swimming in that. But like, that's like a mile
At least.
at least. I don't know how fucking wide the Hudson River is.
He ends
or
up in New
whatever way they
Jersey.
go. Yeah, that's literally.
I'm
like,
surprised they didn't have him go down to Florida and just be like, "Welcome to Florida."
Just take it the whole way, baby. This thing rips.
Dude, that whole plot twist though, when it turns out Riley and Diane Kruger, I can't remember her name, are
The fuck is her
she have-
name?
Does she have an accent?
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's German in this, but I think she loses
Pennsylvania
it.
Dutch.
She loses it.
Oh, yes.
She loses it a couple times. I
It's
feel
not
like.
always there.
She's not actually.
What is
she
her
doesn't have an accent in
name?
real life, right?
She was bouncing back and forth between the set of Inglourious Bastards and National
Abigail
Treasure.
Chase, is that her
Yes.
It's Abigail. Yeah.
Chase was.
name? Because the only reason is Jer has the soundtrack up, and one song is called "The Chase," and like that sounds right. And also one song is called "Ben." So
Yes.
We're gonna play that after. A new drinking song. What does he say right before he jumps down into the water?
I'm taking door number 3.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah.
I found another door, and I'm gonna take it.
I wish you could curse in this movie.
I'm surprised they don't.
Like an R-rated National Treasure.
I'm
It
fucking
must be
jumping.
PG, right? They didn't use their one F-bomb.
No, he doesn't.
PG-13
I think this might
allowed
be
it.
fucking G.
It might be PG-13 just based off Nick Cage's raw sexuality throughout this movie,
Yeah,
but other than that,
It's got to confuse a lot of young kids. Okay, my favorite part though is whenever he's explaining away something ridiculous about why something is where, like like when they're on Wall Street and he's just like, well, actually the Wall Street follows the actual
Here
wall.
at the wall. Wall Street used to follow an actual wall. Yeah, you're going to lead me into it. What I was saving for my last point. My absolute favorite scene in this movie is when they're in the Charlotte.
Nick Cage's
He
monologue.
reads the riddle, and then we just watch him decipher the riddle in real time, dude. I love that scene more than any
Give this
other
man an
scene.
Oscar.
When he fucking like, he's like, it's absolute, it's firm. He's like, no, it's not that. And then he like corrects himself. He's like, it's resolute. He's like repeats himself.
Like, what the fuck?
And everyone's just like, what are you
55 an
doing?
iron pen. But what is iron? It's not the pen that's iron. It's what was written with the pen. Oh my god. I'm trying to remember like the exact.
And then he's like, and Jeffrey Matlock wrote it. He's the one who and the other guy's like saying iron pen. That's a prison. He's like, shut the fuck up, Sean. Let me think.
Shot, you're an idiot.
The line that I lose it every time. I can't remember the lines in the riddle, but then when he's just like, well, there's something. A map. Maps have legends. Maps have keys.
Unreal.
No, it's like, you're telling me, like, did test audience ever see this and they're like, that doesn't really make much sense.
They have to move this plot along really quick, and they just
They gloss
rely
right
on
over that.
him.
They're like, Nick Cage has to solve the movie for us. We don't know where to go.
That could have been a movie on its own, but no, he is too smart for it. That is by far my favorite scene in this
Do you
movie.
think historians watch this movie and are like, none of this, is fucking true?
I'm assuming a lot of like flat earthers and like anti-vaxxers watch us and are just like, holy fuck, guys, let's go to that church in New York. There's treasure down there.
Honestly, yeah.
Yeah, I have thoroughly. This is not a joke. I have thoroughly researched the historical accuracies of this movie. 'Cause
Oh yeah, you did for the, yeah.
I made a video, never published it like publicly. I might go back to it one day, but
You should.
my favorite historical inaccuracy in this movie is the clue on the back of a $100 bill. Another great scene where he barters his watch for a $100 bill and then uses a water bottle as a magnifying glass. Love it.
I tried that.
And it works.
No,
It works
spoiler
spot
alert,
on.
it does not work.
But they find the time in the etching on the back of a $100 bill, and he says it's based on a painting.
Oh yeah, and fucking Doug from Hangover is like, actually, motherfuckers.
But I could not for the life of me find a source showing what the original artwork that was on the back of a $100 bill was. That doesn't even matter because that version of a $100 bill only existed from like the 80s to like 2012. So that means back in the 1770s, they put this plan together and they're like, whoever's going to solve this has to do it between 1986 and 2012. Otherwise, they're going to change the $100 bill and this clue won't mean anything.
Damn, Jerry, don't try to ruin this movie for me because it won't happen. But that
But
He
he
would-
won in 2004, so
he
it
would have
works.
found a way. He would have found a way. He
They knew that
could have
when they made
found
it.
this in 104. Nick Cage was never. He wouldn't have died before he found this fucking treasure.
He can find a George Washington campaign button. He can find some old, $100 that are no
That's
longer in
absurd.
circulation.
That's absurd to think about.
Yeah, that one always gets me because I'm always a little bummed. I'm surprised she didn't wash her hands before pressing all those buttons.
And types with one finger.
Types with one finger. Luckily, the one that she pressed on the button because she's
Nice and
not
convenient.
left-handed.
I also I love when Riley reads the potential passwords. A glove fry, a fry glove, a very golf.
And he's like, Valley Forge, 2 L's, 2 E's.
It's like she hit it twice. Like, oh no shit! But like when you're watching it, and you're like,
The
you're
whole
little,
time I was like, Valley
Yeah.
Forge, motherfuckers.
Yeah.
I
And
did not know.
you're like a little tipsy. You're like, oh no fucking way! Like, of course you hit those numbers or those letters twice. Like, easy, fucking Nick.
Nick Cage did not need the letters in front of him.
He's like, eat my dick, Riley. It's definitely Valley Forge.
Oh my
I
god.
imagine. I don't know. Like, if he typed that in wrong, like he just like burns up on sight. Like,
Yeah.
he just gets fucking lasered or something.
Well, I always think like the other guy's plan seems a lot more risky, just going in guns a-blazing. I don't know if they get out if Nick Cage isn't there.
Legitimately, though,
not.
like, as far as just, like, a movie scene of a heist, showing the two different
Pretty
heist
sweet.
approaches back to back, like,
They do that really well too.
it is so cool.
I mean, shout out to the writers for figuring out 2 ways to steal the Declaration of Independence. We should probably each form a team, do one of them, see which one works better.
The CIA should check up on the guys who wrote this movie. Hey man, where'd you get that information? How do you know we put it down at night and we fucking
4 feet concrete?
This is a call out to the global Big Movie Boys audience. If anyone can point me to a National Treasure themed escape room, I will go to that town and do it.
be in Alaska,
That's in South Dakota, underneath, for the second movie, at least underneath Mount Rushmore. That would be fucking
probably in
sweet.
Valley Forge
It might be in, wow.
or
There's
New
a
York,
lot of places
or
under
in
the
Boston,
church.
or any of the historical places they go.
Philadelphia,
I
yeah.
felt like they left it open at the end. Like, one of the only historical cities they don't go to is Boston until they send Ian there at the very end. Like,
No, they had to hit it there.
I'm just saying, a future movie. Do we go to Boston?
Oh no 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 no!
Do we get help from a certain Bostonian?
Who's the bad guy in that movie?
Holy shit!
National Treasure 3 Battle for Boston? 1 if by land, 2 if by mark?
Dude. And then Mark Wahlberg's like, let's have a fucking tea party, baby. Could you imagine Nick Cage and Mark? They've never been in a movie together, I'm assuming, right? You could not have 2 alphas.
Is the world still going? Yeah.
God, could you imagine those 2 in the same room?
Well, they're just immediately fighting each other. I don't know how they
Beef
team
on
up.
sight.
How do you have 2? Those probably the 2 biggest alphas in the world. Listen to this. Let's add Nick Cage to our Vin Diesel, John Cena, Mark Wahlberg. Put in Nick Cage in there.
You give me prime Nick Cage?
Yeah.
Or are you saying Nick Cage right now? Either. Doesn't
I don't think
matter.
it matters how old he is. Give me 10 or 100. I think he's whooping everyone's ass.
That's a good point. Any final thoughts on National Treasure? I'm glad we finally got to just...
I'm surprised we didn't do
We've
this
talked a
movie
lot
before.
about National Treasure on our own, but it's good to finally have a recorded version that we can go back to.
I mean, it won our best movie bracket, so
It did. And it was in contention for best of 2004 when we were doing the best of the 2000s.
that was just a tough year.
It was
We do that.
up
We do
against
that
stiff
year
competition.
again. We do that year again. This probably wins 6 out of 10 times.
Gun to my head, this is probably my top.
But one of these days, we're gonna get that top 5 out of you.
One of these days, we'll bring a gun into the studio. We'll see what really
I have a
happens.
top 35 or so on Letterboxd, and this is unironically in that list. And it'll stay there till the end of time. It may only climb the rankings, if I'm being
It can't
honest.
fall. This movie cannot fall.
All right. Well, with that being said, next week, other than
National Treasure 2?
maybe we don't actually have
What is the
anything.
name of that movie? Book of
Book of
Secrets.
Secrets.
Yeah. Where he kidnaps the president within the first 15 minutes.
Super plausible.
Other than episode 8 of Mighty Ducks and Tokyo Drift being recapped next week, I'm not sure what we're doing. Maybe it will be National
Oh,
Treasure
I know
2.
something that just came out on HBO Max. Russia.
Oh, Jerry, we are watching The Woman in the Window.
We are watching The Woman in
Fuck,
the Window.
what is that?
I forgot to write it down.
Great book, Bob. Do you want to read it?
All-star
Read the book
cast.
before. Great cast. I did not know Gary Oldman was in this movie.
Yeah, it's a great cast. So we are watching, what's it called?
The Woman in the Window.
It's on Netflix next week. That's what we'll be watching and reviewing. So we'll see you then. In the meantime, thank you for listening, and remember, the aliens helped them. We'll see you next week.